What? There's a new secret badge indoors? Actually, there's many new secret badges indoors? Alright, so as you all probably know, Doors just released its April Fool's event, which introduced the brand new ranked game mode, and alongside it came one new badge, the Hard Stuck badge. Now, although I'm sure all of you have obtained this achievement already, as it's pretty easy to get, there actually exists a whole bunch of other secret badges which you can obtain. What's even more interesting is that these new badges aren't actually full-on unique badges, but rather badge variations, which are something we have never seen before in the game. So, in this video, I'll be explaining everything you need to know about these new secret achievements, including how to obtain them, what makes them so unique, and why you should actually care about getting them. So, with all of that being said, let's begin. Alright, so our story begins with the normal Hard Stuck badge. This achievement is obtained by getting 5,000 final points in the brand new ranked game mode, which grants you the starter rank alongside this achievement. Now, despite seeming very normal at first, the Hard Stuck achievement is actually very unique, as it actually has variations. As you level it up in ranked mode, and progress through the various ranks, the appearance of the Hard Stuck badge will actually change when it is displayed on your character to depict whatever rank you are currently at. These are the badge variations I was talking about. Now, as you probably know, Ranked Mode is a limited time event for April Fools, and this means that once the event is over, the badge will permanently showcase whatever rank you ended the event off with. This means that for this month, and this month only, we have the ability to change the appearance of this badge to our liking, and once Ranked Mode leaves, this badge will remain in whatever state you left it in. So if you want to max it out, now is the time. So, with that being said, what exactly are the badge variations and how do we obtain them? Well, in total, there are 5 ranks which can be unlocked through Ranked Mode, with each one only being obtainable once you've acquired the rank before it. The ranks in order are Starter, Combatant, Soldier, Warrior, and finally, Bloxer. The way you can level up through the ranks is by acquiring points in the Ranked Mode. Despite this sounding like a simple task, it is a lot easier said than done, as with each progressive rank, more points and grinding is required and the ability to lose larger amounts of points increase. This is all very complicated at face value, so let me explain it to you in somewhat simple terms. Essentially, when you play Ranked Mode, almost every action you perform grants you a point value. This ranges from anything from opening a door to avoiding an entity to even just surviving against other players. Throughout each playthrough, you want to amass the most points out of every other player. However, although the point amount you achieve in-game may seem like a large number, it can be very deceiving. At the end of each round, you are given an evaluation of how you performed, which ends with the number of final points you received. Normal points, which is what I've discussed moments ago, are what you receive for performing all sorts of actions throughout the playthrough. The amount of these is what you are trying to maximize in each run. However, the total amount of normal points you obtain is substantially reduced by something known as a match tax, which appears at the end of a round, and whatever remains after the tax are known as final points. These final points are what truly matter, as these are what you need to collect in order to actually rank up. So, although you can get upwards of 3,000 normal points in an actual playthrough, that number only translates to far less final points at the end of the round. Fortunately though, there are some ways we can predict the match tax, and using that knowledge we can adjust our playstyle to maximize the amount of final points we can obtain. You see, the match tax increases with the total player count as well as your rank. This means that a soldier rank playing in a round with 7 other people will be taxed more heavily than a starter rank playing with 3 other people, as the soldier rank is farther in the progression. Now, this means that as you progress through the ranks, it's harder to amass final points, meaning the more nightmarish part of obtaining the final badge variant, and rank by extension, that being Bloxer, is leveling up to that point from the warrior rank, which precedes it. At this point of the progression, you need to be making around 3,000 points a round if you're playing in a full server. Otherwise, the match tax will be greater than the normal points you earned in the round, and when this happens, your final points go into the negatives. Yeah, that's right. On top of it being incredibly difficult and tedious to level up through the ranks, you can also be downgraded and devolved through them. Now, in terms of strategy, I'd recommend that you should aim to be the first person to open most doors in the playthrough, as that is what constantly awards a high number of normal points. I also advise to at least attempt to obtain items from side rooms, as the entities and other competitive players can be brutal and sabotage your run. Now, I will say that out of every single action that rewards the most points, managing to get someone to die to dread whilst surviving yourself grants the most, as it awards players who accomplish this with 999 normal points. This, however, is incredibly difficult to pull off, as despite players having triple the health they normally do in ranked mode, dread instantly kills them, so one wrong move can lead to you being killed. Still, even with very good strategies, reaching the final rank is still a very time-consuming task, so expect to spend a lot of time playing ranked mode if you want to 100% this event. So, with all of that being said, let's take a step back and actually look at the requirements for obtaining each rank and badge variation by extension. Upon obtaining the initial 5,000 final points, players will be given the Hardstuck badge itself, with it displaying the starter rank on it. To level up to the combatant rank, you need to obtain an additional 10,000 final points, and upon achieving that, your badge will display the combatant title. Afterwards, you'll need 20,000 more final points to obtain the soldier rank, which depicts the soldier title on the badge. Then you'll need another 25,000 final points to get the warrior rank, whose badge looks like this. Lastly, the final rank is the Bloxer rank, which requires 25,000 more final points. Now, despite the final point requirement for both Warrior and Bloxer being the same, the match tax increases between the two, so it is definitely more challenging to obtain Bloxer than Warrior. Something cool about the Bloxer badge variation, though, is that a number also appears alongside it, and this number indicates your position on the leaderboard out of the entire player base. In total, to obtain the Bloxer rank and badge variation, you need to amass 80,000 final points in total, which is an absurd amount. So, to summarize, the Hardstuck badge can actually be leveled up to have 5 unique badge variations which correspond to the rank you have in ranked mode, those being Starter, Combatant, Soldier, Warrior, and finally Bloxer. These variations, despite seeming simple at face value, are actually incredibly grindy and difficult to obtain. However, fortunately though, given that ranked mode is extremely fun, it doesn't really feel like a typical lengthy grind trying to get them. Also, keep in mind that once the event ends, you'll no longer be able to rank up, and the badge will permanently be stuck on whatever rank you ended off with. So, if you want to max it out, now is the time. Anyways, that was essentially the entire video. Let me know in the comments what you think of these badge variations, and with all of that being said, thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoy.